You mean the one that was in power, like the one that just died?
Yeah, the queen.
Yeah, the queen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was Queen. I'm not an expert in like the monarchies of England and Britain, but I believe was it Queen Victoria? Queen Elizabeth? So
The Queen of England.
Yeah, the Queen of England. So there's been plenty of queens who, it wasn't just like thrust upon them through marriage. They became the queen through hereditary lines.
But a majority of queens come through marriage lines because even if you're the eldest daughter, the castle, the royalty line goes to the oldest son.
But if there is no eldest son or the son dies, then yes,
well, then they kept trying for a son as much as they could.
Yeah, sure. Sometimes.
But they would teach the queen, you have to start a war. You have to do these things that a man would do.
The count? Who?
I don't know.
If all women were involved in being like not just one queen, there wouldn't be any wars. There's still wars because all the other men are out there trying to fight. So if it was all women queens,
well,
there's no way to actually prove it because you'd have to go back in time and change the course of history.
What do you mean?
I believe that if women were in charge for most of the world, there'd be way less war than there is today.
So, but what, you think that, but that's just an assertion. Okay. What's the argument for why that would be? Because
we've only had wars really attacked and chosen by men in this current day and age.
There's been plenty, again,
Name one.
Historically, I don't have live recall for like a specific war that some queen in the 16th century started.
Exactly.
Okay.
Argentina, Thatcher, Margaret.
You got to speak into the mic. Please.
Margaret Thatcher, Argentina. She started the war. Margaret Thatcher started the war, taking the Malvina Islands from Argentina. I'm Argentina. I know that part of the story. She was a woman, and she motivated, and she started a war. Not to be against you, but it just came to my mind.
Of course.
There's many women.
War was started for?
Excuse me?
Do you know what the war was started for?
For the islands. The Malvinas Islands, the islands that are right next to Argentina, England took them.
And
Margaret Thatcher did. She was the first minister of England.
Okay.
And I was back there. It was in 1982. I was a junior, and there was a war, and in my country was in war because of Margaret Thatcher. I have a second one, Christina Kirchner. She brought the most violence in Argentina in the history of Argentina.
Thank you, Seth.
So I think what you're saying is true, and there's a lot of cases, but there's other cases. I think you're focusing on things that really happened. I think you're right, it happened, but no, women brought a lot of violence.
In any case, both parties are going to commit violence